Chelsea fans, UCL qualification is still on the line. We are still holding on by a thread. We're back into the top four after that great result. 1-0 win at Everton at Stamford Bridge. And in my opinion, we played amazing. I've already seen a lot of people online complaining that we didn't win 3-4, 5-0. And I just don't see the angle. I'm going to be honest. I really don't see the angle. I feel like Caicedo playing at right back, inverting into midfield and having Lavia as a partner is an absolute cheat code. Caicedo was phenomenal today. Lavia played exceptionally well. Makes the difference. He is the glue in that midfield. I know that he doesn't play full 90s and obviously we want him to play more, but he did come off not injured, which is fantastic. Reece James came on as a rotation and saw the game out. So many good performances today. So many good performances across the pitch. How many times this season have Chelsea gone 1-0 up and crumbled and lost a game? But in 2025, I think Sanchez has kept something like 7 clean sheets, which is something to not go unnoticed. I look at Robert Sanchez and I'm not his biggest fan, and I've publicly criticised him time and time again because he's not Chelsea quality. However, today, he was fantastic. He was not called upon too much, but when he did, and when he was, he was phenomenal. 2 saves he made that kept us in the game. It kept us in the game. His distribution was actually pretty good today. He didn't make any silly mistakes. He clattered into an Everton player, which I thought was just brave of him, to be fair. It didn't look nice when they both went down. I'm glad he's okay. And he kept a clean sheet. He collected all the crosses. He did his job perfectly today. I had a lot of people in my live watch along saying that, it's Caballero ball. That's why we won. Maresca's in the stands. I think people don't understand that today was Maresca ball perfectly executed. Perfectly executed. We have a lot more intensity. We look more up for it. That first half, we knew that we needed to win this game if we had any chance of getting in that top 4, top 5 positions to secure Champions League qualification. And they played like it too. We were very unlucky to not have 3 or 4 goals by the end of the first half, but Pickford made some fantastic saves. And again, we're not as clinical as we should be with the players that we got, and we're hoping to improve it on the summer. But there were so many good moments throughout this match. Defensively, we were solid. It didn't look like we were conceding today. Trevor Chalobah, unbelievable. In my predicted 11 yesterday, I put Tosin over Chalobah purely because of the aerial ability and physicality of Everton. And I hold my hands up. I got it wrong, man. I got it wrong because Chalobah turned up and played a near perfect game. Pretty much a perfect game. He cleaned everything up. Won everything in the air. He was solid. He dealt with Beto. Now, yes, Everton had some chances, and in the first half and the second half, and Sanchez made some incredible saves to keep the ball out of the net, and I'm grateful for that. But then we look further forward in the field. We had Lavia had a fantastic time on the pitch. Caicedo was unbelievable. Cucurella very well. Our wingers today actually worked. Neto and Madueke were direct, beating their man, trying to create as many chances as possible. We had over 10 corners today. That shows how much pressure we were putting onto the Everton goal. Pickford made some fantastic saves as well, making saves from Madueke a couple times on his weaker foot. Madueke playing on the left-hand side. I was cooked. Absolutely cooked earlier on in the season when I was like, we could potentially play Madueke on the left-hand side. No, he's left-footed, so he has to play on the right so he can cut inside. Yes, I get that. But I've also been a strong believer, and because I've seen it with my own eyes with Chelsea players, back in the day where some of you probably weren't even born, when we had Damien Duff and Iron Robben, they used to rotate during the game every 20 minutes. So you'd have 2 left-footed wingers. One would play on the left, one would play on the right to cut inside. Then they would switch 20 minutes every 20 minutes during the game. And it just brings a different dynamic. We saw Madueke with 2 really good shots, very, very good strikes that any other day would have gone in on his right peg today, which we just don't see. And Pickford made great saves. I think Madueke absolutely cooked people on that left-hand side today. I think Neto played fantastic defensively and driving that ball up that right-hand side all game. All game. The wingers worked the way that they should work in. And maybe this is a balance of us playing well and Everton not playing well. But Everton had some good chances and good spells. Now, were we unbelievably perfect? Should have won this 6-0? No. Obviously we still conceded chances, conceded possession. There were spells in this game where we were a little sloppy, right? Admittedly. Football games go in waves. We all know this. 20-minute spells of riding the waves and setting your own tempo and trying to get the lead and trying to, keep compact and, play to the systems. And I just feel like Maresca, through Willy Caballero and his team, so he was in the stands today serving his touchline ban, Maresca ball was perfectly executed. Great patterns of play. That midfield three of Enzo, Lavia and Caicedo were phenomenal. And they work so well together. I'm gutted we don't see it more often because of how available Lavia is. However, good news, Lavia was taken off, Reece James came on. and Lavia wasn't injured, which is fantastic, which means we can actually utilise him for the next couple of games, which is great. Hopefully he can stay fit between now and the end of the season. Now, in the live watch-along, a few people were saying, is this Chelsea football heritage? Are we going to go on a 6-game unbeaten run right at the end of the season? And do you know what? I would love to see it. People seem to overlook the fact that this is a must-win game. And we went out there, we kept a clean sheet, got a 1-0 result. Is it pretty? No. Does it get 3 points on the board? Yes. We had an early kickoff against Everton, 2 historical things that Chelsea suck at getting over the line, and today we did both. There are a lot of aspects of today that went very, very well, and I'm not going to be focusing on the negatives because there's barely any negatives other than Palmer didn't have a great game. He hasn't scored in 16 games. He's got assists in the last couple of games. Cool. He's clearly not playing to the same standard he was in. There's something going on with Palmer. I don't believe it's Maresca ball that's, killing his creativity. He says 23 GA this season or 24 GA, so that can't be that. There's something going on with that guy's confidence. He wasn't terrible today, but he was nowhere near his standards. I think we can all see that, and he hasn't been for a long time. That's the only negative that I can pick out, if I'm being honest. Jackson wasn't as clinical as he should be. But he scored from outside the box in the first time in his career, which I didn't know. That was a fantastic strike. Instinctive. Receives the ball, turns and shoots. Doesn't even think about it. Straight into the bottom corner. Fantastic finish. It's what we've been crying out from Jackson for a long, long time. Just be more instinctive. And a lot of players, to be fair. Just be more instinctive and take more shots. Bags a goal. Limbs. Unbelievable scenes. Could have had another one if he wasn't offside. Obviously, the rebound of Cucurella's shot. He was offside, unfortunately, which would have made it 2-0, wrapped the game up. Would have taken a lot of stress off of the fans' hearts, to be fair. We were on the edge of our seat trying to hope that we could, see the game out. 5 minutes at a time, 4 or 5 minutes at a time. Look, we know how this goes. Usually, throughout our seasons that we've seen, we crumble. We concede that equaliser. We concede that late winner. Things like that. And it's a big stark difference from last week's game against Fulham, where we scored that 93rd minute winner. But I want to say something that I think a lot of fans are overlooking, either on purpose or taking a blind eye to. And it's the spirit of the team in the last few games. They've really stepped up. You can see it. They want to win the games. They're just looking like they're alive again. And yes, you could argue, why didn't they do this earlier in the season? Of course we can do that. We were poor for like a month and a half. But the Fulham game, we showed spirit, character and grit, got the win. Today, we went out there with one goal in mind. Get the 3 points. And we did that. We did that. First half of the season, we were saying, we concede too many goals. Concede too many goals. We need to be more solid defensively. In 2025, we've kept like 6 or 7 clean sheets. It's a stark difference. Now, do I think Sanchez is good enough to be Chelsea's number one? No, of course not. I think that should definitely be changing in the summer. However, credit where it's due. I think that we played fantastic football today across the park. Yes, there were spells where it weren't perfect, but just enjoy it for what it is. Just enjoy it for what it is. Our wingers played well. Enzo Fernandez with another assist. He was fantastic today. The way he was spraying the ball around, the way he was linking up the midfield to the attack, the way he was keeping on a possession. Unbelievable. He is playing better and better as the season goes on under Enzo Maresca, and you have to give him credit for that. Maresca has unlocked Enzo Fernandez. He was unreal. Lavia, again, is so vital to this team. He really is. Colwell had a good game. I'm not a big fan of Colwell. I think he's been on fraud watch for months. But today, he just did his job. He did his job. Cucurella, fantastic. I can go through all the players. One thing I will say is I would like to have seen Tyreek George either start or get more minutes in the second half, because bringing them off for 5 minutes, you can't really make much of an impact. But at the same time, our wingers were playing fantastic. They just were. Noni and Neto were just on another level today. And it's what we should be expecting of them every week. And for people to say that they weren't doing very well, I just don't know what you expect from them, because they were beating their mans consistently. They were defending well. They were driving the ball forward, creating loads of chances. Even whether it gets a corner or a shot on goal, they're still creating something. Now, yes, we need more of an aerial threat. We know this. And we do need to be able to hoover up more chances to make sure it is a 2-3-4-0 when we have the opportunities. But a 1-0 win where we shut out the opposition, we outplayed them and dominated for large spells of the game, played the system how Maresca wants us to play, scored a great goal, 3 more points into the top 4, first game of the weekend as well. It's just a great result, and I think we should just be allowed to enjoy that. Doesn't mean we're going to go on and win every single game. Hey, it gives us confidence. Winning the last 2 on the bounce when we absolutely needed to gives these guys more confidence to go into the next game. Because this is where our death run starts. This is where we have the likes of Liverpool, Newcastle, United and Forest. We need as much confidence as possible. And if you take it as Ipswich as the cut-off, as must-win games before this run, 7 out of 9 points. It's better than what we expected. And I still feel that in these last 4 games, we are going to pick up more points than people expect us to, because this is just what we seem to do. We did it last year, went on a 6-game unbeaten run, and we started battering teams left, right and centre and climbing up the table to secure European football. Can we do it again? I don't know. I know I'm an optimistic fan. Obviously, you're well within your rights to have your own opinions and think that people play poor, but I just watched this game with the community, and I love having the live streams with you guys. You guys are amazing. You genuinely are. And I like having conversations, but sometimes I feel like either people aren't watching the same game or they're just being negative for the sake of it, and I just don't quite understand it with a lot of our fans. Enjoy it for what it is. It was a great 1-0 win. We are not perfect, but it was a lot better of a performance than I was expecting today. I expected us to go out there and roll over because it was an early kickoff against Everton. And we needed to get the points. And that's where I thought the pressure might get to these lads. But the way that Maresca set the team up, the way the team went out and executed the tactics, fantastic. And we deserved that win. Sanchez kept us in it. There was a lot of chances that Everton had that any other day go in. There was also chances from us that any other day go in. But look, you take the rough with the smooth. It's a well-deserved victory. It's another 3 points. And for the rest of this weekend, or at least from now onwards, we're in the top 4. The question is, do we stay in the top 4 at the end of the weekend? That's the big question. We need some other results to go our way. But at least Chelsea fans, we can sit back and just enjoy the football. There's no pressure on us now. Everyone would have saw that game and gone, all right, cool. The likes of Villa, I know they're not playing because of the FA Cup, but the likes of Villa, the likes of City, the likes of Forest, Newcastle, they have to win now, because it's so tight. And for anyone telling me that the race for UCL football isn't exciting, I don't know what to tell you. Your club must not be in it, because if your club is in it, it's exciting. This goes down to the last kick of the season to know who secures where and who finishes where. And I'm all for it, man, because right now Chelsea are winning. Things are different, you know. I was saying today in the live stream that it just felt different. We know that this setup works. A lot of people seem to forget that we've played Caicedo at right back and he inverts into midfield when we have the likes of Lavia. Did it against Villa, blew him off the park 3-0. Fantastic performance. And it was very similar today to when we played then. We just weren't as clinical, granted. But just enjoy it, Chelsea fans. 1-0 win against Everton, first game of the weekend. Up the Chelsea. Well, that's my thoughts and opinions on the 1-0 win against Everton. A massive 3 points. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you did watch this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one. I really appreciate you. Secondly, there'll be a thumbnail that pops up on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you enjoy that video too.